Being the head coach at the University of Oklahoma has been the privilege of my lifetime. In April of 1996, I accepted this job, my dream job, as a native Oklahoman. I thought I had died and gone straight to heaven. The task was a big one, and was not for the faint of heart, but I so wanted to build a place where Oklahoma kids could come and have a chance to win a championship, a place that would be adequately reflecting of this great institution and this amazing state. And 25 years later, I still cannot believe the ride that Oklahoma women's basketball has taken me on. I really can't believe sometimes that this is a profession they pay you for. It's so much fun. I'm ready to explore new things, though. I've always known that there were things that I wanted to do beyond coaching basketball. I want to do those now. I'm ready to do those now. I'm excited about doing those now. And I'm absolutely over the moon about running toward unfettered days with that little grandbaby over there that's brand new and 9 days old today. That's something to look forward to for sure. 25 years just feels right in my bones and in my soul. Coaching is a profession that requires all of you, every single cell, 24/7, 365. You know, Garth Brooks sang a song about standing in the proverbial fire. He said, life is not tried, it is merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. Well, coaching gives you a life inside the fire where you have a chance to live more fully, perhaps, than in any other thing I could have ever chosen to do. So thank you. It's been an honor, Oklahoma, to be your coach.
Congratulations, Sherri.
Thank you.
Hey, from one small town girl to another, I was wondering if you could just reflect a little bit more on your Healdton roots. And I know obviously that's wrapped up in family and friends, but when you think about, you know, so many girls and kids in this state being small town kids, what do you sort of point to when you think about how that impacted you and got you to this point, 25 years and all the accolades and everything you've been able to accomplish?
Well, that's a nostalgic one, Jenny. Thanks for the question. And what immediately comes to my mind is Healdton is such a great place to be from. I fell in love with basketball in the 5th grade. A couple of older girls who I admired and thought hung the moon asked me if I'd like to go to a little basketball camp at Plainview, little school, not even a town, little school outside of Ardmore. And I had never played basketball, and I went, and dribbling seemed kind of easy to me. It just worked, and I had a blast with all those girls. And the next thing you know, there was a goal in the driveway, and I had a whole bunch of voits that turned your hands black from playing outside, and I fell in love with the game and was so lucky. Mary Patton was my 5th grade English teacher, and she was also my 5th grade basketball coach. And I remember things like the first day I ever got a uniform. She was laying them out in her room, and she said, "What number do you want?" And I was like, I don't care. I didn't even know that mattered. I didn't know that was a thing. And she said, well, you're going to be a guard. You need a low number. That'll be better. And I remember the pride that she took in teaching us all and exposing us to competition and the lessons that she taught. And as fate would have it, she moved up as I got older. She was my high school basketball coach until my senior year. And I can remember when I was selecting a college and thinking about where I wanted to spread my wings and fly to from Healdton, America. I remember thinking, when I grow up, I want to be like her. She was just it for me. And that fueled I was one of those kids that went to college and said, I want to be a teacher and a coach, and never changed my mind. That's what I majored in, and that's what I became. But Healdton gave me the roots to do it all. I mean, I grew up in a home where we visited the sick at the nursing home every Sunday afternoon after church. I grew up in a home where we made cookies and took dishes to families when they were sick or when family members died. We sang at funerals. We went to church even in the snow with our boots on. When we couldn't drive, we walked. I had it good. And you don't get to do things like this unless you have a lot of people helping prepare you to do it. And there's a whole bunch of people I could name, but I'm going to give it to the whole town of Healdton. They teed me up well.
I know Sherri's more a fan of nonfiction, but when you think about her career, it almost seems like a fairy tale. What she was talking about, those humble roots to where she is now. When you think about what enabled her to author this story, what is it that you point to that took her from that small town to the heights of today?
People don't achieve at a level that she does without being passionate or being driven. But it's really the part that she took her why, the why she did what she did, the purpose behind being a teacher and a coach, and the way that she wanted to invest in her players and their best interests and their futures, and wrapped all the values and the opportunities that the sport represents as sort of a metaphor for life. And she used that as the vehicle to teach about something bigger than the game itself. And I really felt like each and every time you saw something happen that was magical and you're just assessing it in the truest sport sense, you missed part of the big story, and that is stepping back and watching the magic of how it happened and how she put people in positions to do things at first they weren't even sure they could do themselves, but she found a way to infuse them with confidence. And they went out there and did it and had a whole lot of fun doing that. If you would see this team away from the floor, you'd shake your head because you'd be laughing all the time, number one, because they were laughing. They had so many different things that they did to connect with each other and fuel each other and pick at each other like sisters would do. And they had that family vibe all the way through, and it showed in the bounce in their step. And I think about when people have talked about it and they use that kind of description, you just accept it and you go on and this is, you're talking about something bigger than any one individual. But all the time I've been around Sherri and her program, I've seen it happen live, and I know it's real. And I know that those kind of moments, the moments outside of sport, the moments, that connect sport to life, there always were and will forever be inextricably linked to the success that's represented by the banners that remind us of it.